Hey, welcome back to the JKMoto Entertainment Channel. Welcome back once again to Stable B, our favorite place. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic. Well, there's a lot less about necessarily riding and a little bit about something I've been asked about in the past, and actually a big part of the reason why we're sitting here in Stable B just talking, and why I do a lot of that and not as much you see me go ride around a racetrack. So we're going to talk about cameras today. And kind of why, unless they're a certain setup or a certain way, I think they're a little pointless. They're kind of cool, you get some POV footage, that's great, but as far as like helping you out on the track, helping you get better and anything else like that, if you think that you're gonna get that from a camera, I don't think it's gonna help you as much as you think it might, and we're gonna talk about how, or why I have that opinion and what you can do to actually have it help you, vice just, hey, I have a GoPro and now I have footage that I'm never gonna look at. So that's what we're gonna get into today. Please stick around in the video, check it all out. While you're sticking around, make sure you click the subscribe button down below and throw a like on the video. If you have any questions or comments, or maybe I'm saying something that's completely off about cameras, or you've got this camera that does it all and does it way better than anything that I could, does it as well as anything that I could come up with, and is very specifically allowed on a racetrack during a track day and or race, that would be great. I would appreciate it. Throw that down in the comments. Without any further ado, let's get into the video. So cameras. In the world of cameras, you have many different types of cameras. You have something like a DSLR camera that we're filming this video on tonight. You have a cell phone camera that many of you should have in your pocket. Pull it out, you can take a look at it, and I'll show you. Fine, it looks like that. That's a cell phone camera. And then we get into the world of action cameras. And action cameras have been around for a long time. I'm not here to give you a lesson on action cameras or anything like that and talk to you about GoPro or, well, I'm going to talk about GoPro a little bit, but I'm not going to give you like some big long history lesson on the different action cameras. But I would say that for most of us, a GoPro is actually almost like many people will throw out the word GoPro, like, hey, I need a GoPro. What's the best brand of GoPro? Most of us know that that's a brand, but it's kind of like Kleenex or anything else, you know, Q-tip, whatever, where they started that whole action camera thing, or at least they were the biggest name in the beginning. So that's what we all think of. Another pretty good brand, honestly, that I'm actually pretty happy with, and I might do a review on mine in a little bit, is Insta360. And this is the X3 specifically. It's a little outdated now. I think they're up to the X5. It's a 360 camera, so essentially you put this anywhere and you can see all the way around it, full circle. This guy came with this thing, the invisible Insta360 selfie stick, which is actually freaking awesome to put on the back of your motorcycle. It is awesome. We'll share some footage of me riding around with that on the back and how it's actually kind of cool. You can actually see what you're doing. But I put this on the bike and I got one session done and it was secured very well, wasn't coming off. I think it was actually like zip tied and or safety wired on in several different spots, plus the camera was safety wired to this, and like I did everything I could to make sure this thing wasn't gonna come off the back of the bike. But I got pulled over on my way out to the track on the second session that I was gonna have with it, and someone said, hey, did you go through tech with that? I was like, well, no. And they said, okay, yeah, we don't allow those. So if you had gone through tech and they allowed it, then I would, but we don't allow those on the track. And then I started paying attention, and most places don't like the selfie stick hanging off the back of the bike. I.e., really, they just don't like anything hanging off the back of the bike. And a lot of places also don't like the cameras attached to the helmet. So while those are great for while you're out in the canyon or you're filming your moto vlogs or whatever else, out on the track, they're just really not that feasible. Now, Insta360 also makes another camera that I do think is about one of two useful cameras that we're going to talk about tonight, and that would be their little, I don't even remember what it's called. It's like the Go 3S or something is the version they're on right now, but it's this little tiny, it's like, I don't even have one. I kind of want to get one. It's like that big, about 1.5 inches tall, 1/2 inch wide, and you can slip it right in the corner of your helmet and then actually get a kind of point of view footage of what you're doing. And the reason that I would say that that camera is almost worth it is what we're going to get into here in a second, which is that it will actually follow you and you can see what you're doing and you can get some useful feedback from that. So the purpose of this video, before I just go off rambling way too much, because I could ramble and ramble forever, the purpose of this video is that I'm trying to tell you that it might not be worth your money to buy a super nice action camera, depending on what you're using it for and what your goal is. If your goal is purely, I want some sweet footage and I think I'm going to get that awesome footage off the front of my bike, then go for it, by all means. If your goal is that, hey, I've got this action camera so I can do a bunch of other stuff also, and I'm gonna put it off the front of my bike and just, or on the front of my bike, go for it, by all means. But if your goal is, I'm gonna buy an action camera so I can get some footage of myself so I can see how well I'm riding and see where I might be making mistakes, I don't know if it's quite worth it. And you'd actually get more bang for your buck, most likely by either paying a coach for a day or two that will follow you with the camera, we'll talk about that in a second, or buying something like a lap timer with some good software that you can go look at your lap times and look at where you're actually, you know, compare them side by side with other people, look at the data and figure out what you're doing. Action cameras, I don't want to just say that they're not worth it. I don't use them because of what I'm telling you today, and that is that I don't think that you'll get good enough feedback for like rider growth from an action camera. Once again, if you're just looking for footage, whatever, you do you go spend your money however you want, but an action camera is about the same as one rear tire, so that's one less track day you can do because you have this cool camera. If you think there's a possibility of you taking this footage home and just setting it on your computer, maybe showing a friend or two here and there, and then never really doing anything with it, it ain't worth your time. Go ahead and don't get it. When they become useful is when you have something that will give you instant feedback when you get off the track. So I spent honestly it was 4 days down with a coach down in Texas, Josh Bidinger, shout out Bidinger Motorsports. And something that Josh did is he had this 360 camera, and it was a GoPro 360 camera, and we'll yeah, we're not gonna get into specifics on different cameras. I'm not gonna give you any reviews and tell you which camera is the best or whatever else, but this GoPro 360 camera worked the same way as the Insta360, i.e. you could turn it all the way around and see whatever around you. He put that on the front of his bike, which allowed him to then go follow his students, in this case me, around the track, and when we get back, automatically plugs that thing into the computer, pulls it up in the software, goes and finds and says, hey, here, here, and here, look at where you're at. Okay, now look at where you should be, or let's talk about where you should be. Let's talk about where your body position is, or bike position. I can see, like, out here, you should be hitting this apex at this point. You're hitting it 4 feet in front of it. You might feel like you're hitting it on time, but you're hitting it 4 feet in front of it. And the camera from behind showed that very well. And I'll show a little bit of that footage here in a second also, or kind of overlaying while I'm talking here. But having someone follow you, and then in turn, if they have a camera on the front of the bike and you go follow them around, they're a good enough coach that they can make sure they stay ahead of you, really gives you some insight on what you are doing. And in that case, that camera is 100% worth it. But you can't get that with a camera on your own bike. Most of them are not gonna get good enough footage of like where you're at on the track and what your body position is doing. Outside of, like I said, this cool invisible selfie stick that I think fully extended. Is that it? Oh, it's way less long than I thought, but it's pretty long. It sticks back off the bike about 4.5, 5 feet. Definitely 6 inches. And it's invisible, so you get this floating vision of you from behind, and you can see yourself move around. Like I said, we'll show some of this footage as we're talking here, but you can see yourself moving around. You can see yourself where you're at on the track. You can actually get a good depiction of where you're at. And then if you go and take that and use it for analyzing and say, okay, look at me, I'm not getting off the bike like I thought I was, or I'm getting off the bike way too much here, or, oh, I can see myself hit the brakes right there. I thought I was hitting it at this marker, but I'm actually 10 feet, 20 feet, 100 yards in front of it, whatever it might be. That is when those cameras become useful. So this video is not to sit here and tell you to absolutely not buy a camera. The issue is that these selfie sticks are not allowed on the racetrack generally. You can't put a camera on your helmet, so you can't follow, because the third scenario we'll talk about in a second is being able to follow your head so you can get some feedback on what your eyes and head are actually doing. But you can't really use them unless you have someone else willing to follow you around the track that is also at the same pace. And then that's almost not worth it unless you're gonna go back in the pits and immediately look at it and get that feedback right away and say, okay, we just did 3 laps. We came in, we looked, turns 5, 7, and 9, I'm not getting off the bike enough, or I'm not hitting the apex, or whatever. And you can go pick that apart and you can go work on it there. Without that kind of use, the camera's just really not worth it, and you can put your focus anywhere else. So the other scenario I was talking about, the only other scenario that I would say is like really worth it for a personal camera, and this is the one that, like, if you're saying, hey, I'm buying this and this is my goal, I'm gonna make progress, I'm gonna learn something, this is the one that I would say go ahead and go get. And that is the little Insta360. They're the ones that I know of that you can have. And there's actually some orgs that are against them, but they're hard to see when you have a tinted visor and they sit in your helmet. So they sit physically in the helmet right next to your eyeball, right here, out on the like kind of shelf that sits out here. And therefore, when you move your head, and you might have seen them, there's ads all over, people are going crazy about them, but when you move your head, it's gonna move with your head. And so that could give you that awesome feedback of like, hey, I'm going into a corner and I wanna know if I'm actually looking through my corner like I should be. So I'm sitting here and I'm like this. You're also, if you look at that and you actually analyze it for progress, you're gonna be able to see where your head's actually at. Because if you can still see the whole dashboard and you can see the whole bike down here, your head might not be far enough over to where you're actually looking through that corner like you should be on either side. And we're not talking about body position today. I have another video if you want to check that out. It was called How to Drag a Knee. Go check that out. There's a link up there. But that would be the other scenario that I would say, yeah, that's like, go ahead, that's worth it. But once again, you need to have a computer at the track and you need to be able to analyze that right after you get done with a session. So we'll put out a video here in a few weeks of progress versus fun or something along those lines. Once I have that out, I'll link it up here. So check back for that link. It just gets into that whole, is your goal of the racetrack to just have fun and do a track day and go ride your bike? Or is it, I want to get fast, I want to make progress, and I want to race bikes one day, or I am racing and I need to figure out what I'm messing up and how to get faster. So that's going to wrap us up pretty much. Like in the gist of things, if you're going to spend money on something and you're looking for something that will help with progress and something that gives you good feedback, I would spend my money on a lap timer, or I would spend my money on a friend that can go follow me around the racetrack, which those are hard to buy. So, and people say you shouldn't buy them. But if you're buying an action camera for just personal pleasure and just to get some footage, go for it, whatever. I personally kind of think they're a bit of a waste. I know a lot of people that have these awesome action cameras. They got them for Christmas from whoever. They thought they were going to use them, and the most they do with them is go like take a walk down to the park or watch themselves fish with them, because it takes a lot more work than just carry this action camera around to actually get the shots that you'll see on the commercials and everything else. But if you're using it for progress, there are only a few methods in which I think that will actually help you and give you the feedback that you're looking for. So don't waste your money on an action camera. Outside of specific scenarios, go spend some money on some good coaching or a lap timer or just another rear tire, because we all know you're going to burn through that nice and fast. Anyway, that's going to finish up the video for today. Thank you guys for watching. Once again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and throw a like on the video. And if you have any questions or comments, please throw those down below in the comment section, or hit me up on Instagram at JKMoto Entertainment and or Facebook. And I'll answer anything and everything that you ask me over there. I check those messages pretty often. Thanks again. We'll see you guys in the next video.